Tonight, COVID testing sites under strain as one state eases travel rules.
We're still finding that around 1 in 5 of all the people waiting for tests and getting tests done is doing so for interstate travel.
Also tonight, grabbing a bargain at quieter than usual Boxing Day sales.
I love Boxing Day. It's like the only reason for me to wake up early in the morning, to be honest.
Crowds back at the MCG for the Boxing Day test as Australia takes charge of the Ashes. And anti-apartheid leader Archbishop Desmond Tutu dies at the age of 90. Good evening, Susie Rains with ABC News. Victoria's COVID testing
The second male behind
comfortable using technology, folks living in remote and regional areas, new migrants, and even children.
Recently, places that have transitioned very quickly towards cashless payments, like New York and San Francisco, have passed laws making it illegal for businesses to refuse cash payments.
I do expect that there is a long-term declining trend, but I guess I don't really think it's going to decline down to zero.
Whether it does or not depends on the price of convenience that we're willing to pay. David Chow, ABC News.
Australia has dominated the opening day of the third Ashes test against England at the MCG. Pat Cummins and Nathan Lyon took 3 wickets each as England was dismissed for a modest 185. At stumps, Australia was 1 for 61.
to the Ashes.
Patience paid off for 32-year-old Victorian pace bowler Scott Boland, who became Australia's oldest Test debutant since Adam Voges in 2015.
He becomes the 4th Indigenous player to play Test cricket for Australia, the 2nd male behind Jason Gillespie.
Pat Cummins returned from his COVID-related absence to send England in.
Feels like a bowling day. There's some good grass coverage here on the wicket.
Any hopes the tourists had of starting on a high note soon disappeared as Cummins called the tune.
Is there a noise? There is. They like it, the Australians.
England fielded a new opening combination, but old problems remained.
Taken by Queen.
On the stroke of lunch, Cummins made a meal of Milan. England needed a captain's knock. Joe Root reached 50, but a century remained elusive on this tour.
Yeah, you can see the disappointment in his reaction.
Ben Stokes showed glimpses of his best.
That's beautiful footwork. That's the Ben Stokes we know.
But that proved to be false hope, as Stokes gave Lyon catching practice.
Up and away and gone! Green gets the big wicket.
Joss Butler failed to find the application he'd shown in the Adelaide Test.
Should be out. Boland's underneath it.
And then the moment the MCG crowd had been waiting for.
Boland, is it his first Test wickets? It is his first Test wickets.
Australia's decision to bowl first was justified as England was dismissed for only 185.
It's fallen into the hands of Scott Boland.
David Warner gave the home team a flying start.
Warner's got that right.
England ended a disappointing day with a rare success as Warner departed for 38. Duncan Huntsdale, ABC News.
It's been a rocky return for the Sydney to Hobart yacht race, with COVID-19 continuing to cause havoc. With positive tests, close contacts and safety concerns rife, the fleet was reduced to just 88 minutes before the starting cannon fired. At sea, wild weather today and tomorrow is also causing a stir.
It's not just other crews this year's competitors in the Sydney to Hobart yacht race have to watch out for. COVID has also made things tense in the lead up to the great race.
1 a.m. in the morning, we got the test and ready to go.
Others weren't so lucky. There were 5 late withdrawals following compulsory pre-race testing.
In the case of Willow, just knocked the whole boat out of this race, so we have lost a handful of boats based on those positive tests.
The fleet dwindled from 93 to 88, and there could be more casualties to come.
If a boat gets a positive test on board, the idea is they would retire and we'd then let the normal processes occur for somebody who arrives in Tasmania with a positive test.
Last year's event was axed because of the pandemic, but this year sailors and spectators were all hands on deck.
It's great to be back down here because we actually felt last year we were lost as to what to do on Boxing Day.
Starting gun and away they go racing.
Crews breathed a sigh of relief when the starting cannon fired.
What a magnificent sight, one of the great sights in Australian sport.
It was a close contest as the Super Maxis set off from the pack.
So what a sprint race between these three, Lord Connect, Blackjack and Scallywag.
But it was Scallywag who was first out of the heads before her tides turned.
Oh, here's some drama. Something's happened to Scallywag.
A sail problem saw the pre-race favourite drop behind Law Connect.
This looks serious.
The first 24 hours of the race will be a battle for survival as crews face thunderstorms, southerly winds up to 30 knots an hour and waves of 2.5 metres. Day one's tough conditions are expected to ease by early tomorrow morning, giving sailors some reprieve on their 628 nautical mile voyage to Hobart.
The race record looks likely to stay intact, with the first boats expected to take at least 2 days to finish. Chloe Hart, ABC News.
There was also a large fleet on Port Phillip Bay today for the traditional Cock of the Bay yacht race. 84 yachts started this morning at Port Melbourne for the race down the bay to Blairgowrie. It was a heavy slog from the start, with yachts battling into the wind. For most crews, it was a chance to blow out the cobwebs after a year of lockdowns. New South Wales yacht Original Sin, skippered by Lee Dorrington, took line honours in the 34 nautical mile race. It's a lead-up event for the Melbourne to Hobart and the Melbourne to Devonport yacht races. Both of those events will start from Blairgowrie tomorrow.